Hey everybody, ronarray here, and I've been farming multiple bosses of this league. And in the previous video, when I farmed 50 Zash, been very successful, because Zash provide a pretty decent and stable amount of currency. So in this video, I'm going to showcase my results of farming 50 King in the Mist. And since King in the Mist is pretty decent endgame boss, as well as Zash, I decided to try it out, and I expected that it's going to provide a very decent currency as well. But will it? We will be able to see in this video. So I'm going to showcase everything that I did and also calculate all my profits or losses. Let's go. So let's start with the essentials. First off, King in the Mist is a very fast boss, which is just amazing, since most of the time I've been one-shotting him without a lot of issues. It's been a very fast fight too. The whole fight, together with looting and running through the labyrinth, usually takes around 1.5 or maximum 2 minutes, making it one of the fastest bosses to farm right now. That way, all 50 kills been done in approximately like 100 minutes or 1.5 hours, making it significantly faster compared to Zash, for example, which is pretty nice. And one entrance to the King in the Mist cost about 40 exalteds right now. So all 50 entrants I bought for 2000 exalteds, and if you will calculate that in the divines, it will be 15 divines approximately, which is not very high number as well, and I think it could be considered pretty cheap too. Price and timing can both fluctuate based on your build and the current economy state. However, both of those numbers should be pretty close to each other, and you should expect approximately similar results. But the biggest issue right here is pretty much the drop itself, and let's talk a little more about the drop. Generally, while you're farming, you're going to receive some omens in the process, and most of the time those omens will be not really useful, and right now during the farming I haven't received a single expensive omen up to any kind. The best omen that I've been receiving been like an omen of amelioration, which is currently approximately like 4 exalteds at the maximum, and a few omens of corruption as well, but those been pretty rare. Much more often the boss is just dropping omen of coronation instead. And let's talk about more important part. It's like belts and jewels. So when you're farming the boss, it's going to drop belts, which is just Ingenuity belts, and also from nothing jewels. I think for both types of items, for jewels and for belts, it's easier to sell them unidentified as usual with all boss loots for stable profit. If you're going to identify them, it's going to be a big gamba, and it could lead to a very big profit or very big losses. So since I wanted to just check the stable amount of profit that we can make, I'm going to sell both jewels and bells unidentified as usual. So after 50 Kings in the Mist, I received only 4 jewels, which is very sad situation, and I expected significantly more. Maybe I got unlucky, but 4 jewels, it's pretty bad, and I think the lowest number that I expected before I started that been 6. I also received only 11 belts as well. So only 1 out of every 5 kings dropped me a belt. And out of those 11 belts, 5 belts had a maximum amount of charm slots, and the rest of the belts had like only 1 charm slot or 2 charm slots, making them not really expensive. That way, only 4 jewels and 11 belts after 50 kings, and even if you will consider that sample size itself not really high right here, I still think it's been on the brink of total bankruptcy for me after I attempted it. Let's go over the price, and I will explain how exactly we're going to do that. So, all 4 jewels I've been able to sell for 3 divines each, but I think I got pretty lucky right here, because on the market there are some of them for 2 divines, some of them for 2.5 in chaoses approximately, so selling them all for 3 divines, it's been very lucky. I'm still going to calculate them for 3, but please keep in mind that it's an unusual situation, so if you will try to attempt the same farm, you can sell them for less. So 12 divines came from jewels. Talking about the belts, out of 11, as I already mentioned, only 5 dropped with 3 charm slots, and those belts unidentified are approximately 1 divine per each. I sold 4 of them immediately and 1 a little later because it took time. So I received 5 divines on top of it, and 17 divines in total from jewels and good belts. The rest of the belts, it's like 6 of them, they cost something between like 20 and 30 exalteds based on the situation, because there is not maximum amount of charms, and they cost about 1 divine approximately. So that leads us to 18 divines in total, and I paid a little more than 15 divines just for entrances, leaving me with about 3 divines in profit after 1.5 hours of constant farming, mostly one-shotting the boss, and about half an hour selling all of that. So that 1.5 approximate divines in one farming hour. And I think right now that's a pretty low number compared to almost any other farm test that we did. I'm not even mentioning such thing as a ritual or something like that. Just compared to Zasht or for example Ultimatum, I think it's just not enough. And if you just take in mind the idea that maybe I would be unable to sell jewels again for 12 divines, and instead I will need to sell for like 2.5, it's going to lower the profit significantly, and I would even lose currency in such situation. The only thing that saved me from losing currency right here is the idea that I was able to just sell those jewels for higher price. So right now, in my opinion, even if you will take in mind that maybe I got a little unlucky, but based on everything that I've seen, King in the Mist right now is probably one of the most unprofitable fights in the game, and I definitely do not recommend farm it. I think it still could be a little better than farming Rogue Exiles, because Rogue Exiles practically dropped me nothing in the time when I've been farming them, but I still feel like doing Zasht, for example, going to be significantly more profitable and significantly easier in the process too, because a fight with King in the Mist is a little unstable. Sometimes the boss jumps to invulnerability, sometimes he makes the fight longer, he can also create a lot of tornadoes, making arena a little annoying. So I would say, taking all of that into account, together with a very poor amount of drops, King in the Mist, in my opinion, is definitely not recommended to farm. So I would probably just straightforward sell most of them, especially if you're not looking for identifying the jewels. And here comes another interesting part. Theoretically, there could be a few jewels that will cost a lot, but most of the jewels has a very low amount of price, so it's not even 2 divines. Most of the jewels, like after identifying, usually cost approximately 20-30 exalts at best. So even if you can still try to Gamba and hit big, because there's like a few popular options such as like Dance with Death jewel for example, generally it's not going to be profitable even with the Gamba, because most of those jewels just not really popular to use in the build themselves. So the only thing that here could save the whole run if you're going to identify all the Ingenuity belts and you're also going to corrupt them looking for a better outcome. However, such approach making it much more of a Gamba than practical farm, and if you're going to do that, keep in mind that you could just lose even more currency except of making a little but still profit. So King of the Mist have been very unlucky for me, and I definitely would say that farming it right now is not the best idea. Please let me know in the comments, maybe there is another boss that you're currently enjoying to farm. Because Zasht been good and King of the Mist been bad, and I will probably test a few additional things later on. Thank you very much for watching, and don't lose your currency, because I lost some. Ronarray out.